Welcome to CK4RC.
Hey everybody, welcome back to CK4RC. Today we're adding to the fleet. As you can see, I clearly have a problem. Micro Crawler Addict. Sweet shirt from Only RCs. OnlyRCs.com. Use discount code CK4RC for 20% off your order. I will put that discount code right down below, so I'm not going to spell it out for you. You can just click on it and then copy and paste. You get 20% off, and they got great shirts like this. On the back of this thing, you can't see it, but they got this logo on there. Huh? Huh? Nice. Anyway, Hobby Plus CR-24. I got the Defender pickup truck style body. They have a few different styles. They're all pretty cool, but I went with the Defender pickup just because it's a little bit, it's not a Jeep. That's why. And it's a Defender pickup, so that's pretty cool. I thought that was kind of unique, so I went with that. And these things, brand new, usually find them between $80 and $90. And that's what I really like about these micro crawlers. It's what made me addicted to them. See how this works? They're just so accessible. Under triple digits for a nice quality truck. So let's get into this thing, huh? Now, I will go ahead and throw out the disclaimer. I'm not a huge fan of unboxing videos, but I just like to see how things get packaged. What kind of care and attention to detail do companies give their products? That is what I like to see. So, outside box, nothing fancy. It's got that window in front. You get to see the truck. And speaking of seeing the truck, pull that thing out of there. That's got some weight to it. Fellers, this little roll cage they got on here, that's metal. It has a metal framed roll cage on there. It is a Lexan body. It seems to be pretty good, pretty stiff. It's got clear windows in there, so that's a nice touch. There is no interior, but if I want to add something, I'd be able to see it because the windows are clear. That's how that works. I got 4 body clips. I'm not crazy about the body clips, but what are you going to do? Ooh, squishy tires. They call them aggressive monster truck thread. That's what they call it on the box. Can you see the thread? If I hold it up here, can you see that thread? That's not bad. It's fairly aggressive, I guess, for coming out of the box. Something else you may notice whenever I held it up like that, that is a true 4-link suspension all the way around that thing. So it doesn't have the V-shaped 3-link suspension in the front. That's a true 4-link suspension. So that's pretty cool. It is a chassis mounted servo, so you get full suspension travel on the front without hitting the servo horn. That is a nice little perk. And there is some good suspension travel on this thing, huh? Huh? Look at that. I'm just going to keep doing this for the next, 11 to 12 minutes. No, I'm not. Nice little bumper on there. It's got some flex on there. Not sure what that'll do to the approach angle, but it is nice right up and tight against the body. It's got that molded winch in there. So that's kind of cool. Looks like there's front lights in the bumper, rear lights in the back bumper. Okay, so not uncommon to see these mini crawlers rigged up with lights all over the place. Seems to be the case with the Hobby Plus 24. Got a full, it looks like a full usable spare wheel right here on the back. So we'll see what kind of effect that has on things. Yeah, so not bad there. So there's the truck itself. In here we got a Hobby Plus controller. Okay, all right, this thing actually is not too bad. We got, of course, a steering trim, throttle trim, steering reverse, throttle reverse. It's got channel buttons on here. It's got 4 channels on here. Why? I have to assume probably for the lights would be one of them, I guess. Not sure what the other one's for. It does have something I'm not a big fan of on here, and it's not the weird head. I still don't know if that's what you're supposed to call this thing, but that's what I'm going to call it. So it's not that. The batteries go in the bottom down here like a normal one. So that's cool. I like that. But the wheel, it's the hard plastic. I really like the padded foam wheel. It just gives it more of a hobby feel to me. So just the generic plastic just makes it feel more like a toy. The way it feels in my hand, that wheel is pretty far forward. So as you can assume, when I'm driving this thing, we already know it's not going to start good. It's going to go even worse because I'm not going to be able to steer it very good. That's what's going to happen. So we got that in there. All right. And then in the bag comes with looks like a Phillips head screwdriver. So, okay. I guess we're talking about Phillips screws around this thing. That's the way it looks. Yeah. Okay. USB charger, little hex driver as well, and then instructions. Not doing that. So let's get into this thing. Let's take a little deeper look under the hood. Huh? Yeah. Here we go. Get these body clips off. Maybe. Maybe. 3 for 4. 8. Oh, that one flew on me a little bit, but it's still in there. We're good. We're good. Ooh. Look at this. Okay. Looks like we're running on, so we got a 2S battery in here. Looks like we're maybe running on 2S. We have the 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo. Tiny little CAN motor down here, hooked up to the transmission and the drive shaft down low. So that's not too bad for weight displacement. Gives pretty decent balance here. Now, typically you kind of want like a 60-40 balance with 60% of the weight in the front. This one, it looks like there's a little bit more weight in the back on this, so that's a little unfortunate. But it does have the 3-wire servo, so that means that you can upgrade that. Little bitty squishy tires on this guy. So let's take a look at this. I did get a new toy not too long ago, and so I got some digital calipers because I just like to measure stuff just to see how things compare and how they stack up, see how they measure up. You know what I mean? So I'll put a link down below if you want to get one of these for yourself. They're really not that much, or not very expensive at all. So the diameter on these tires, what are we looking at here? We are looking at about 45 millimeters, about 45 millimeters on the stock wheels. Now, in comparison, what I like to do, because the deadbolt is kind of my gold standard, so I'm going to get to that here in just a second. But before that, I recently checked out the Element Enduro 24 and noticed that that thing also has really tiny tires, but I didn't have this yet. Let's check it out. So the diameter on these tires, we are looking right at 45 millimeters. 45? Let's call it 45. We'll call it 45. What I say this one was? Right at 45. So they're about the same. But now I want to show you the stock deadbolt tire. Now, granted, these tires aren't good. We've been through that before. The tread on these tires is thumbs down fart noise. But 45 millimeters on that's not big enough. So we got to bump this thing up, actually considerably, to get, we're right around 50, what is this? Would you say 54 millimeters on this probably? Yeah, right around 54 millimeters. So we're talking an extra 9 millimeter size on the stock deadbolt tires versus the Element Enduro 24 and the Hobby Plus CR-24. Now, as we also found out, the Element Enduro 24 was actually quite a capable little truck right out of the box. So I actually have high hopes for this thing over here as well. And what I'm really interested to see is what kind of effect will it have if I upgrade those, just the wheels and tires? You know, I'm not even talking about weight or, you know, any electronics or anything like that. What if we just upgrade the wheels and tires? What's that going to do? So when we do our test, that's what we're going to find out. And it looks like this thing might have some waterproof electronics. It's got the waterproof little bubble cover thing on the on and off switch. So I'm going to guess that those are waterproof electronics in there as well. The box says that these are preloaded spring shocks. I see nothing that makes them preloaded. I don't see any collars on these at all. I will say that the stiffness is actually pretty decent. And for spring dampening shocks, it's not like super bouncy the way that some of the SCX-24s are. So I'm very curious to see how this thing performs. The other thing that I want to point out is the size of these pumpkins. And again, I don't know why they call them that. Listen, if you know, are you a mechanic? Have you been in the RC game longer than me? Probably. Are you smarter than me? Very good chance of that. Why are these things called pumpkins? Let us know. Leave it in a comment down below. Drop it right down there. I don't know why I make fart noises all the time. We just drop it. That probably don't do that. You can do that on your own time. If you're watching this and you're doing that, I mean, thanks for watching, I guess. But, ugh. We're crossing some boundaries that don't need to be crossed. I'm just going to get back to the truck. Okay? Here we go. Anyway, pumpkin is chunky. Compared to the Element, I want to say that it's a little bit smaller than the Element. Let's see if I can get them up here to where you can see. The Element just seems to be a little bit bulkier. But the low point on the CR-24 might actually be a little bit lower than the Element. The Element is just kind of wider, whereas this just has like that little dip. So I'm not real sure how that'll affect performance, but we'll find out next time. That's how I do things. So with that, I'm going to go charge some battery. I'm going to find some AA's and throw in this transmitter, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to see what this thing has to offer. Man, those bumpers just fit so snug up against the front grille and the back tailgate on this body. That's really well fitted. Well done, Hobby Plus. That's pretty quality. Nice job. So I'm going to get in on that. If you are curious about these things, I'll leave a link down below. Click on that thing, get one of these things. Like I said, it's under $100 for a really cool looking truck. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to drive. I have a chance I'm going to be able to prove that right here in just a little bit. So stick around, come back, hit that quadfecta. I made up that word not too long ago. That's 4. Instead of a trifecta, let's do a quadfecta. Like it, subscribe it, comment on it, and then share it. Let's get more people in here. Listen, the channel's growing. I got this sweet banner back here from Only RCs. They're doing a fantastic job of helping me step my game up, giving me great shirts, giving me nice banners. Throw some love their way too. OnlyRCs.com, discount code CK4RC for 20% off your order. I already told you I'm going to put that discount code and the link down below too. Just click on all the stuff downstairs. That's the easiest way I can say that, right? All the way downstairs down there, just across the board, all the way, do it. For now, that's where I'm going to leave you. And we will come back and we will do the product test on the Hobby Plus CR-24 Defender pickup. Stay tuned.